Have you ever felt a little lost after retirement? Perhaps you're like Eleanor, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Ohio who felt adrift after decades in the classroom. That familiar structure, gone. The daily purpose, vanished. It's more than just boredom, isn't it? It's a profound shift, a quiet crisis that can leave you feeling empty, even worthless. This feeling, this loss of identity, can impact your health, your relationships, even the joy you find in your golden years. It affects everything, from how well you sleep to how much you want to engage with your friends and family. Ignoring it only makes it worse. But what if I told you you can find even more joy in your 70s, 80s, and beyond than you did in your 50s? What if I showed you the way to rewrite your story, to discover a deeper sense of purpose and connection? Time isn't on our side. Every day is a gift, a chance to reinvent ourselves and deepen our connections. Don't let another precious moment slip away feeling adrift. Let's begin our journey together. Let's explore how you can rediscover your purpose, embrace the changes life brings, and create a legacy of joy that will last a lifetime. The quiet hum of the refrigerator was the loudest sound in Margaret's Ohio farmhouse. 78 years old, retired librarian, and widow for 5 years. The silence felt less like peace and more like a vast, echoing emptiness. It wasn't just the absence of her beloved Henry, it was the absence of purpose. For decades, her life had revolved around the Dewey Decimal System, around helping others find knowledge and solace between the shelves. Now those shelves felt miles away, as distant as her own dreams seemed to have become. Suddenly, the simple act of making coffee felt monumental. Each morning, the routine dragged on, heavy with a sense of meaninglessness that seeped into every corner of her day. The vibrant garden she and Henry had cultivated together now seemed a burden. Weeds poked through the neglected roses, mirroring the untended spaces within her own heart. Even the friends who tried to cheer her up felt like they couldn't quite reach her, their concern only highlighting the yawning chasm of loneliness. You might understand. Perhaps you, too, felt that quiet unraveling after retirement, the gradual fading of a familiar identity replaced by, what? It's not merely boredom, is it? It's the unsettling shock of a life once defined by work, by structure, by a sense of belonging, suddenly adrift. This isn't about staying busy. It's about finding a new current, a new purpose that feeds your soul. It's about rediscovering your identity, not as someone's wife or someone's worker, but as you, a whole, vibrant, and valued person in your own right. The feeling of being lost after retirement is more common than you might think. It is a profound shift in your life that needs to be addressed head-on, not ignored. Ignoring this feeling can impact your physical and mental health, relationships, and overall happiness. But what if I told you that this feeling of loss isn't the end of your story? What if instead it's the beginning of a whole new chapter? A chapter filled with unexpected joy, profound connection, and a deeper sense of purpose than you've ever known before. A chapter where the silence becomes a canvas for your next masterpiece. The weight of those unspoken dreams, the quiet ache of unfulfilled potential. It's a burden many of us carry, isn't it? But even as the years add up and our bodies change, there's still so much life to live, so much joy to be found. Think of Arthur, 85 years young, a retired architect from sunny Sarasota, Florida. A fall left him with a nagging hip pain, a fear that kept him mostly housebound. The vibrant golf courses he once conquered now seemed miles away, distant and unattainable. He felt a creeping loss of independence, a dull ache in his heart that mirrored the sharp pain in his hip. His evenings, once filled with lively card games with friends, were now spent alone, surrounded by the silent ticking of the grandfather clock. The frustration was almost unbearable. He felt like a ship lost at sea, his sails tattered and torn, the familiar coastline of his old life receding into the distance. The doctor's advice was simple enough: physiotherapy, perhaps a walker. But Arthur felt a rising tide of resistance. He saw it as surrender, as admitting defeat in the battle against time and its relentless march. He was angry, resentful, even ashamed. Shame at his weakness, shame at his dependence, shame at the thought of becoming a burden on others. But then something shifted. He started small, a short walk to the mailbox supported by his cane, then a little further each day, pushing his limits, celebrating every small victory. He discovered adaptive yoga, a gentle form of exercise designed to build strength and improve flexibility without putting undue strain on his body. At first, the poses felt awkward, almost laughable, but slowly he began to feel a sense of strength returning. It wasn't the same strength he had in his prime, no, but a different kind of strength, a strength born from perseverance and acceptance. The fear of falling still lingered, a shadow in the corners of his mind, but the fear was no longer a shackle binding him to his chair. He began exploring mobility aids, canes, walkers, even a lightweight scooter, and found one that suited him perfectly, restoring a sense of confidence and freedom. He started joining a weekly water aerobics class, the buoyant water supporting his body, soothing his aching hip. Slowly, cautiously, he started making plans again. A short trip to the beach with his daughter, a weekly lunch date with old friends. The quiet evenings were still there, but they no longer felt like a gaping void. They were filled with memories, with anticipation, with a quiet understanding of what really mattered. His new strength, his newly found freedom, was not a return to his past, but a stepping stone to a new adventure. And in that, he found a joy he never knew existed before. A joy rooted in acceptance, adaptation, and a renewed sense of self-worth. He wasn't the same man he was at 50, but he was infinitely stronger, wiser, and maybe even happier. That feeling of wanting to leave a mark, it's a powerful one, isn't it? It's a desire to matter, to be remembered, to have our lives resonate beyond our own time. But what about the relationships we nurture every day? Those are important legacies too. Think of Evelyn, a sprightly 75-year-old from Arizona, who found herself feeling increasingly isolated after her children moved away. The quiet evenings stretched long and lonely, the silence amplifying the ache in her heart. It wasn't the grand gestures she missed, but the small, everyday connections, the simple shared moments. She'd always prided herself on her independence, stubbornly refusing help even when she needed it. That independence, however, had become a lonely fortress, keeping her from the warmth of human connection. Then a friend suggested a senior center day trip. Evelyn grumbled about it at first, but something about the idea of shared experiences, of casual conversation over lunch, piqued her curiosity. She found herself surrounded by people who understood the nuances of aging, the joys and the sorrows. They shared stories, laughter, and even quiet moments of shared contemplation, a quiet comfort found in companionship. Evelyn discovered a new kind of intimacy, not in grand romantic gestures, but in the simple sharing of everyday experiences. It wasn't about replacing her family, but about finding a space where she felt seen, heard, and understood. She volunteered to help organize weekly activities. She started a knitting group, creating something beautiful and connecting with others in the process. This small act, this rediscovery of shared experience, blossomed into a network of friendships, a vibrant tapestry of connections that enriched her life immeasurably. It wasn't romantic intimacy, but it was a type of bonding which filled that loneliness, adding a richness to her daily life she never anticipated. You see, intimacy in later life doesn't always look like we expect it to. It's not always about grand gestures or passionate declarations. Sometimes it's about the quiet comfort of shared silence, the warmth of a friendly smile, the gentle touch of a hand on your arm. It's about feeling connected, feeling seen, feeling loved. It's about nurturing the relationships you already have and bravely opening yourself to forming new connections. Are your current relationships supporting you in this journey? Are you nurturing those connections or letting them wither? Maybe it's time to pick up the phone and call an old friend. Perhaps a weekly coffee date with a neighbor would ease some of the isolation you feel. Don't be afraid to reach out. You'd be surprised at how many people feel the same way you do. Join a club, volunteer your time, take a class. There are so many opportunities to build meaningful connections and rediscover the deep satisfaction of shared human experience. It's never too late to cultivate the richness of human connection, to find new sources of intimacy and joy. Evelyn's story isn't unique. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the capacity for connection that remains within us throughout the course of life. Remember, aging doesn't diminish our need for love, belonging, or meaningful connection. It simply changes the shape of those needs. Embrace the opportunities to nurture your relationships and forge new ones. You might just surprise yourself with the joy you find along the way. The unexpected friendships, the shared laughter, the feeling of belonging. These are some of life's richest rewards, and they are available to you, no matter your age or circumstances. The desire to leave a legacy, it's a powerful, quiet hum beneath the surface of our lives, isn't it? Think of Robert, 90 years young, from bustling New York City. He wasn't looking for fame or fortune, but the simple act of sharing his life's lessons with his grandchildren filled him with a deep sense of purpose. He started by recording short video messages, little glimpses into his life, the war stories, the family traditions, the quiet wisdom gleaned from a long life well lived. He wasn't just leaving behind possessions, he was leaving behind a rich tapestry of experience, a legacy woven from love, laughter, and hard-won lessons. And that, my friends, is what truly matters. It's about creating something that outlives you, something that connects you to future generations. It's about making a difference, however small. Perhaps you won't write a novel or compose a symphony, but you have stories to tell. You have wisdom to share. You have a unique perspective that the world needs to hear, and that's something you can begin to pass along today. Maybe your legacy isn't written in ink, but in the lives you've touched, the kindness you've shown, the lessons you've imparted. Think about your own life. What are the things you want to be remembered for? What stories do you want to share? What traditions do you want to carry on? These questions aren't just about the past. They're about shaping the future. So what's your next step? What small, tangible action can you take today to begin creating your legacy? Perhaps it's writing a letter to a grandchild, sharing a cherished recipe, or simply telling a story from your past. It might be recording a short video, planting a tree, or donating to a cause you believe in. This is about actively participating in the weaving of your own narrative, the final chapters of your story. Remember Eleanor, Margaret, and Arthur? Their journeys, though different, all shared one common thread: a willingness to adapt, to redefine, to find meaning in unexpected places. They faced challenges, setbacks, and moments of profound loss. But they also found new joy, new connections, and a renewed sense of purpose. And you can too. The journey of aging is not a straight line. It's a winding path with its share of twists and turns. There will be obstacles along the way, but you are stronger, wiser, and more capable than you may realize. Embrace the challenges, find your unique path, and let your spirit shine. Don't shy away from reflecting on your life. Look ahead to creating a legacy that brings you joy and fulfillment. The final chapters of your story are waiting to be written. Take a moment right now to reflect on your life's experiences. What are you most proud of? What lessons have you learned that you want to share? What is one thing you can do today, this week, to begin building your legacy? Share your thoughts with others. Let's build a community of wisdom and support. Your insights and stories are valuable, and they matter. Let's connect and continue to explore this journey together. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I hope this has brought you some comfort, encouragement, and a renewed sense of purpose.